And again, certainly grateful for everyone's presence this morning. Cool and dreary outside. We have the warmth, love of God, worship and praise Him today. It's a wonderful occasion. Glad you're here. We're going to start by singing number 618. 618. We'll sing this hymn before Eric leads us in prayer, and then we'll have revival. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, that calls me from the world of care, and bids me at my Father's throne make all my wants and wishes known. In seasons of distress and grief, my soul has often found relief, and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer. Sweet hour of prayer, the joy I feel, the bliss I share of those whose anxious spirits burn with strong desires for thy return. With such I hasten to the place where God my Savior shows His face, and gladly take my station there, and wait for Thee, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, thy wings shall my petition bear, to Him whose truth and faithfulness engage the waiting soul to bless. And since He bids me seek His face, believe His word, and trust His grace, I'll cast on Him my every care, and wait for Thee, sweet hour of prayer.
Let's pray. Father, we're indeed thankful for this opportunity we have to come and worship Thee. Pray that all of our worship this day is acceptable unto Thee. Father, now we're mindful of the ones that we know are sick. We'd ask that You would be with and comfort them. Father, we're so thankful for Jesus who came, did the ultimate sacrifice on the cross for our sins. Father, now as we enter into this hour of study, we'd ask that we clear our minds outside the world and help us to focus on what we come here to study. Forgive us of all our many sins. In Christ's name, amen.
If you will, open your books to in the grade book to page 17. We're going to pick up there with the study we've been working on. And the question of this lesson was, will you also go away? And we talked about Adam and his family and Noah and the people of his time. And before we go into the Israelites and the wilderness and the spying out of the land, Canaan, and things that happened there, I do want to back up to Genesis 6 a little bit, if you will. Flip back to Genesis chapter 6 for a minute. I may do this again next week when I talk about the things that I said about the Israelites, but I did want to back up to Genesis and look at something. Ironically, or coincidentally or whatever, Monday last week when I got to work, conversation was about how bad things had gotten in the world, and kind of fit with what we've been talking about. People that aren't members of the church are distressed about how bad things have gotten. I think that was kind of a good telling of the study that we were working with. In chapter 6, we read together about as time passed and things went on. Verse 5 was one I stressed pretty heavily, and it's actually one of the verses that we talk about quite often. It says, "And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." Continually. I dwelt on that quite a bit last week. We looked down a couple of verses at verse 8. I think I read through that pretty quickly and just kind of skipped on about how bad things were. What does it say about Noah?
What?
Verse 8, what does it say about Noah?
Found grace.
He found grace with who? With God. So, as bad as things were, he held out. If you look back to chapter 5, verse 24, talk about Enoch walked with God, and he was not the guy who took him. We would say Enoch was a just and righteous man also, wouldn't we? So, times were bad, not true, but there were still a few that held on. A few that had the faith that, like we want, the faith of unshaken and wavering, and moving on toward God. If you look back at the book, it talks about the rain, how much the waters were upon the earth, and every mountain was covered, and the timing of him coming out of the ark, and then those that were saved, replenishing the earth, new beginning. And then we did talk about it, but then there's God put a rainbow as a covenant between man and God that he would never destroy the earth with water. I think that's interesting to think about because he'll never do it with water again, but when he destroys the world the next time, what will it be with? The fire. If you think about the Old Testament, Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed with the fire of heaven. They were evil, unjust, unrighteous, whatever you want to call them. And God had none. So we can kind of read that and use that as kind of a prelude to what the world is looking at when Christ does return. Literally snatching people from the fire is our spiritual goal. Bottom page 17 talks about the Israelites in the wilderness, and it talks about the reference there in Genesis 12, 1, 2, and 3. It says, "We learned that God had chosen Abraham, through whom he would eventually bless all the families of the earth." Here are the blessings that he would give Abraham. Number one, he would give him a great name. We're still talking about him thousands of years later, Abraham, and what he did and how he was serving God. A great man of faith. When he was tested, he overcame it, and a great example. He would give him a land to his descendants. still in discussion today. Obviously, in the Middle East, there's still arguments over whose it is, whose this belongs to. Then the third one, he talks about he would make his seed a great nation. And we know that from a reading that it's not an actual nation of physical people, but spiritual people. It says that he would bless all the families of the earth through Abraham's seed, Jesus Christ. That's the key that we need to focus on. His descendants were, yes, they were important. They were God's chosen people for a while. And the main thing was that they were preparing the way for Christ. God's plan for salvation. Some of these things, however, would be a long time coming. As Stephen reviewed the history of Israel before Bob killed him in the New Testament, he reminded them of the prophecies that Israel had been bondage for a long time. Sandra, if you will, keeping the tradition, read Acts 7, 6 and 7 for us.
God spake on his fathers that his seed should sojourn in a strange land, and that they should bring them into bondage, and treat them evil 400 years. And the nation to whom they shall be in bondage, rise up, said God, and after that shall they come forth and serve me in this place.
Okay, 400 years of being bondage. A stranger in a strange land was to be his wondering, his calling. But they were his people, and he would remind them who he was at the given time. And then he talks about in the nation to whom should be in bondage by a judge. The fill in the blank on page 18 at the top. Judgment. A little different than what we were able to do, but when God judges us, there'll be no mistake, there'll be no arguing, if you will. It'll be truth, it'll be factual. I think it's one of the things that even as Christians, it's humbling to think about. All of our thoughts and all of our actions and all of our opportunities that we had in the past we'll give account for those. The reference there says the bondage was prophesied again in Exodus 12:40. I'll flip over there close to that. Actually, Exodus 12:40 talks about the last of the plagues that God brought upon the Egyptians. Verse 31 in chapter 12 talks about it. And Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, "Rise up and get you forth, get you from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go and serve the Lord, as ye have said. But take also your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and ye be gone, and bless me also." The Egyptians were urging upon the people that they might send them out of the land with haste, for they said, "We be all dead men." And the people took their dough before it was leavened, and kneading troughs, being bound up with clothes at the shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent to them the things which were required. And they spoiled the Egyptians. And then verse 40 talks about their exodus, basically leaving Egypt. Talks about the numbers of people, obviously, were great at that time. And it says, "Now the sojourning of the children of Israel," verse 40, "who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. It came to pass at the end of 430 years, even the selfsame day, as it came to pass, that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. And it was at night, or was that it is a night to which observed the Lord bring out the land of Egypt, and the night of the Lord was observed in the children of Israel, all their generations, in their generations." So it was a great exodus, as the Lord prophesied, as the Lord had commanded. And then we know the story of them getting away from Egypt. And it wasn't long before they were already murmuring, wishing they had been left in Egypt to die. In the top of page 18, the second paragraph says, "The long bondage which came after Joseph's reign and death in Egypt, brought many trying times to the Israelites until God called Moses to be their deliverer. At the proper time, all the people traveled across the Red Sea, and 40 years wandered in the wilderness, during which time many of them perished because of disobedience to God and because of their own rejection of Moses. The long 40-year stay in the wilderness was the result of their refusal to agree with Joshua and Caleb. Eric, if you will, go ahead and read Numbers 14, verse 34 for us.
14:33.
34. 14:34. All right.
After the number of days in which he spied out the land, even 3 days, for every day a year shall be bare through iniquities, even 40 years, and you shall know my alienation.
So the tying of the days that they spied out the land. Let's try to make the connection. When they were sent into the land, Joshua and Caleb came back and their report was good. They basically said it's a land filled with honey. It's a land that God's prepared for us. We can take it. But what did the 10 say? You remember what the 10 were saying? No, we're not a chance. What were they comparing themselves to? To the people of the land of Canaan, the grasshoppers. We're just like a tiny ant, so we can't do this. But they're losing sight that God was on their sides. Joshua and Caleb, like Noah, like Enoch, was looking. We've got God on our side. We can take this. And because of that, and their faith, they were the only 2 that entered the land of Canaan. You think about all people, mass exodus of the Egyptian families and everyone that left Egypt. They all died in the wilderness. And in the new generation, and Joshua and Caleb entered the land of Canaan as promised. "40 days they were in the land, spying out the land, and that tied into for a year for a day was the phrase that Eric just read, where for every day that they spent spying out the land, rejected, it'd be 40 years in the wilderness. Also, Tanya, if you will get to number 16, 31 through 33. That's good. 33. The earth swallowed them up after they were burned with fire. This was from God. This was not something that Moses had any part of. The Lord spake to Moses, saying, right after that, commanded them what to do, how to separate themselves, and basically the children separated themselves because they didn't want to be swallowed up either. Obeying God, in many cases, in the wilderness wanderings was not an option. Or disobeying God, brother, was not an option. They knew the truth. They knew the power of God, and still sometimes they went astray. And we read it and we say rather quickly how they flip back and forth. They serve God through one leader, and they flip back and follow their own ideas and their own loves. Fire from God burned them up, and they were swallowed up by the earth. What was the number there? Is that how many in that number? I'm trying to go back. It's fire from God burned them up versus what was that? You back up. I think you did back up a little bit. Core against the congregation against them, the Lord's tabernacle, verse 19. Those separate yourselves from among the congregation faces, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak to the congregation, get ye up in the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Verse 25 said that Moses rose up and did what the Lord said. For some reason, I'm seeing 14,700 as the number of people that consumed that day. $250 offered incense, verse 35. There's 14,000 somewhere. I'll use an old phrase that we've used before. It's in that chapter somewhere. Read the whole chapter, we'll get it. But thousands of people were destroyed by God. He talked about it. One of the verses I read was God did a new thing. God had never done that before. But you can imagine the earth actually swallowing, opening up, and people being swallowed up, and in moments out of sight, gone. Fear the Lord, obviously. Obey the Lord with all your heart and all your strength was the outcome of all those reasons. It says there are many other uprisings and complaints along the way of the wilderness, and the bones of those rebellious people lay bleached in the wilderness. That saying that didn't make it in. God's people have been slow to learn that when He speaks, we must not turn away from Him. The next reference was Hebrews 10. We talked about the in the New Testament. Noah being remembered for his great faith. By faith, Abraham, and it lists several things that he did. Let's flip over pretty quick. I think that's a good thing to think about. We're talking about people that basically were godly in the Old Testament and survived even these being strangers in strange land, being limited as far as access to support, and then staying on their own. Arnold, if you will, go ahead and just read in Hebrews chapter 11, verses 8 through 10 for us.
Faith Abraham, when he had called, fell into the place which he should after receive for inheritance, obeyed, and went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in the tabernacles of Isaac and Jacob. The heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which has foundations, whose builder and maker is God.
That's good. Those three verses talk about the references to Abraham. Then the next 4 or 5 verses talk about the same faith that Sarah had when she could see being old. And if you jump on through verse 17 of chapter 11, talks about Abraham again. It says when he was tried to offer Isaac, when he received the promises offered for his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall all thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence he received him as a figure. And then by faith Isaac himself blessed Jacob and Esau concerning the things to come. You think about the people and references there made in the New Testament, even Stephen's sermon before he was killed. They knew the history of the Israelites. They knew these great people, and they knew the people that failed. But yet they were determined to add to their faith and to keep working, keep building. And like Abraham, like we just said, that city that Abraham was looking for, that's what we're looking for too. Heaven eternal is the ultimate goal for all of God's people. Any comments about the references to the wanderings in the wilderness? That could be a year-long or 2-year-long study that we went through the things that they did, the areas that they traveled. But the main thing was it was according to God's will that they did that. The next paragraph, or next section we talk about is from Judges. Lois, go ahead and get Judges 2, 11, 12, and 13 for us. You'll get that. Lois, okay. Judges 2, 11, 13.
And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Baalim, and they forsook the Lord of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods of the gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves to them, and provoked the Lord to anger. They forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtaroth.
Catch up with just a second. The word there, forsook, Lord, verse 12 and 13. When you forsake something, give up on it, quit following it. At one time, obviously, they talk about serving the Lord, doing things that are right inside of God, and then a few years later, not following the Lord. When you forsake something, a lot of times we leave it behind. You think you're better off without it. You never want to go back. We need to make sure we don't look at our beliefs and our faith like that, because it could definitely happen to us today. Greatly distressed is the word that the author uses from verse 15. Yet to deliver them from their enemies, he raised up judges. We read about several of them. Judges 2:17. They turned quickly out of the way of their fathers and they had walked in. Quickly. I think it's interesting that the author uses that word after forsaking. They hearkened to the judges, and they bowed themselves quickly out of the way of their fathers, obeying the commandments of the Lord. It did not so. There's several other verses there we could talk about. Verse 18 says that when God raised up the judge, he was with the judge, and that he had delivered his blood out of the hand of the enemies all the days of that judge. And some of the judges were quite outstanding, but some were not. Dalton points out we probably remember some of the prominent ones like Deborah, Samson, and Gideon. Even when Israel had a good judge, the people went away from God at times. It is obvious that God's people through the ages have been fickle and rebellious. Is that God's people only, or is that all people? We talked a little bit about this last week. The nature of mankind hasn't changed. We have gotten fancier stuff. Our cities have gotten bigger. Our technology has grown. But we're deep down inside, we're still human. The same desires that they have, the same desires we have, the same temptations that they withstood, or the same temptations we have to withstand. We talk about God being our God that changes not. I'm the Lord, the God, I change not. Man hasn't changed either. But we have examples of both good and bad in the Old Testament. And I think that's what I wanted to point out this morning before we start to get too far into this. Just bashing all the people that were failures. Look with the ones that did make it, with the ones that were successful, and encourage us both ways. Any comment about fickle and rebellious people? There about the judges. Talk about the Philistines, the Canaanites in the land. I read some of the differences, the places that traveled under the judges, and the oppression they went into, and they fought back and forth around the Jordan River, different places, and Gideon, obviously, the things that he did, a great leader, more than a judge, but actually a captain, if you will. And then the next section, the period of the kings. This is one of the ones where we get looking at the children of Israel, and we're thinking they're a lot like us. I know when I was growing up, there was a couple of people I wanted to run around with because I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be in the group, I guess is a good way to say it. I wanted to be accepted. And as a child, as a kid growing up, we don't obviously make the best choices, the best decisions. Many times I look back now, and it's a good thing that I didn't get into that group, because a lot of them did not turn out well at all. But I looked up to them as I was growing up. That's who I wanted to be like, and didn't really know how they were. The period of the kings, the period of all history, though it had some of God's greatest people of all time, also marks the saddest times for them. From the beginning of the days of Samuel, people came to him and said, "Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." 1 Samuel 8:5. Several things that point out there. Obviously, the first fill in the blank was old. Thou art old. Why is that a bad thing? Or is that a bad thing? That necessarily in and of itself is not a bad thing. Being old is not ugly. If you think about it, that's you've had more experience. You've been through more things. You've seen more things that God did for us.
Say that close enough there.
I'm close enough to see it, though.
Right at the edge.
I'm not teaching the kids anymore. We're the adult class, and being old is not a bad thing if you stay with the Lord. But the thing that wasn't wrong, and in a sad way, what were his sons doing? The sons of Samuel there. What were his sons doing? They were doing other things, obviously not following God at all, not in the ways of the Lord. And God turned from them. But interesting, like all the other nations, was one of the phrases in 1 Samuel, I think, 8:5. I was trying to find it real quick. Make sure that word was there. I think it is. It is there. It's like all of the nations. Verse 5. There from 1 Samuel 8, verse 1 said, "It came to pass when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judge over Israel. Now the names of his firstborn were Joel, and the name of his second was Abadiah. And they were judges over in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside at lucre and took bribes and perverted judgment." Verse 4. "And all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel and Ramah, and said to him, Behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us like all the nations." But the thing displeased Samuel when they had said, "Give us a king to judge us." So Samuel prayed to the Lord, and the Lord said to Samuel, "Hearken to the voice of the people in all that they say unto thee, for they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them." God's plan, they gave them judges, and there's still communication, but they wanted a king like the other nations. Probably not so much peer pressure, but seeing what other nations were, seeing other nations grow, seeing other nations that were around them. They wanted to be like them. But They wanted a king. And God would give them a king. Bobby, if you will go ahead and flip over to same verse, same chapter. 1 Samuel 8, and if you will read 11 through 18.
And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign. He will take your sons and point them to himself, for his chariots to be his horsemen, and some shall rule before the chariots. And he will appoint him captains over thousands and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground and reap his harvest, and make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to be confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. He will take your fields and your vineyards and your olive yards, even the best of them, and give them to his servants. He will take the tenth of your seed, of all the bakers, and give his offspring to his servants. And he will take your instruments and your maidservants and your goodless young men and your asses, and put them to his work. He will take your tenth of your sheep, and ye shall be his servants. And ye shall cry out the day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen, even the Lord will not hear you.
All these things this king's going to do. Samuel's telling him, you think you want a king? He's not going to be what you think. He's not going to be this great leader who's going to sit back and basically win all these wars. He's basically going to make you slaves, make your daughter and son slaves working for him. But yeah, look at 19 and 20. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, hearken to their voice and make them king. And Samuel said to the men of Israel, go ye every man to his city. And then he went and searched out Saul. Saul did exactly what Samuel and God had told him. He basically took things that they thought were precious and destroyed them and took them for himself. We talk about the palaces that were built, and basically the honor that was given to him was taken from the people, just as God had said. On page 19, quickly moving on, it says, but the first three kings were Saul, David, and Solomon, and the people were one nation under them. However, when Solomon died, and his son Rehoboam became king, he tried to show his power by being stricter than his father had been, and the people rebelled against him. 10 of the tribes choosing to follow Jeroboam, who had fled to Egypt during Solomon's reign, leaving the tribes of Judah and Benjamin for Rehoboam. Jeroboam endeavored to keep the tribes from returning to Jerusalem, where they would see how true worship was being conducted, built 2 images, calves of gold, and convinced the people that it was what? Too much. Flip over to 1 Kings. We know the story, I think you know, kind of recall it. Maybe some of the words. We know what happened. 1 Kings 12:28. 25, talking about building the 2 calves. It's interesting when you go back and look at some of these verses and jump through several of these chapters, how many things are similar. Where else was the golden calf built? Back in, they came out of the land of Egypt, and Moses was up on the mountain against the 10 Commandments. They built the calf there and worshipped it. Here, he builds 2 calves. Talk about the place one, verse 28. Start with verse 27. 1 Kings 12:27 and 28. It says, if this people go up to sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall their heart of the people turn again their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah. And they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel, and made 2 calves of gold, and said to them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one at Bethel, and the other he set Dan. And this thing became sin. And the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. The law was return to Jerusalem. And obviously, Rehoboam, he didn't want to get back together. He wanted to keep separated. And Jeroboam made up this worship, false worship, saying it was too hard. He would be a very popular person today, probably. He would have probably one of the biggest churches in the nation because it would be easy. Come and worship here, it's easier. I will make you do these things.
Verse 33 for chapter 12 shows that the denominational world made the same mistake that Jeroboam did.
Yeah. Verse 32, Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that was in Judah, like unto the feast that was at Judah. Hey, it's just like the one that they have up there, but it's a different day, different things. In verse 33, so he offered up the altar upon the altar which he had made at Bethel, the 15th day of the 8th month, even the month which he had devised in his own heart, and ordained the feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense.
Change God's law.
And you notice, like what we pointed out, his own heart. That was the key. He made it up. But it wasn't pleasing to God. We need to be careful. I think when we talk to people that are in denominations and in places like this that's been set up to be religious on the outside, but and there's nothing wrong with feeling good about your faith. Don't get me wrong. We need more of that. But it needs to be based on the truth. And I think that's the difference that we need to get people looking at. Some people we work with have probably never heard that there's a difference between the denominations and the Church of Christ. And there is a huge difference. Some are very, very close. Some are very, very moral in their actions. But some are very, very misled. And the verse that I read there was, this wicked deed, he became known as the man who made Israel to sin. 1 Kings 15:34. Became a sin to them, and it was wrong. They were supposed to go back and follow God. As they pointed out, we had Rehoboam and Jeroboam had the divided kingdom, with the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Israel was now not one kingdom but two. And in time, they fought against each other. All the kings succeeding Jeroboam walked in his sins. Not one was righteous. Only a few of the kings in Judah were righteous. And he says, imagine what a difficult time it was for the brave prophets of God who had tried to turn the people back to God during the reign of the wicked kings like Ahab. Eventually, both kings became slaves to their conquerors, and the nation of Israel was no more.
I think the world made the exact same mistake. Set it up their way.
The nation of Israel was no more. Kind of drives home how sinful and how wicked they'd gotten. They'd gotten so far away from God that they were no longer a nation. No longer God's chosen, obviously, because they weren't serving Him. And that was still in debate. We finished it either. I think this lesson's growing on me. Put a note right there. We'll stop with the nation of Israel was no more. But I wanted to kind of back up today and kind of get a restart on this because I've been too negative, I guess, in my own mind, thinking about all the bad things that we're reading about. But the underlying message is God's still God, and we can still be faithful, and we can still be just in His sight. And I think that's one of the things we need to take from all these lessons. When question was asked, we also go away by Jesus and to his disciples. We know that he chose the 12 apostles, and one of them was had a devil, being Judas. But of the other 11, they all say they are faithful to God or Christ. As far as we know, died of martyr's death or died of old age, being John. We'll stop there today. Thank you for your reading, your presence, and next week I'll probably start over here on the left side and I'll read first words. So thank you all for being here.
Good job on the couple of chapters.
I skipped right over the hard parts.
Move her out the park.
I didn't know that.